Hey friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you are new, for today's video I will be showing you guys how I install my wigs using a wig sent to me by LuvMeHair. This is their 20-inch 180 density size medium natural color unit. This hair was incredibly soft. I loved it. I'm just showing y'all what the knots and the lace looks like, the way they sent it to me. I don't think the hair came pre-plucked, but that's alright because I will be plucking it in the video and showing you guys how I pluck my wigs. To bleach the knots, I'm going in with the Quick Blue Bleaching Powder by L'Oreal and the 40 Developer by Clairol. And the first thing that I do is brush all the hair back, and then I spray the Got2b all over the hair, just so that I can make sure the hair is sealed and slicked back good enough so that when I bleach the knots, none of the hair peeks through and gets bleached. And here I'm just showing you all what the knots look like at first, just like a little before. Make sure you guys wear gloves for this step because I'm telling you, this stuff burns if it gets on your skin. So yeah, please take all the necessary precautions that you need beyond basically just taking the bleaching powder and the liquid, and I'm mixing it together. And you want it to be a consistency where it's thick enough that it won't seep through the lace, but also liquidy enough to where it can move around freely and attach to the knots of the wig, if that makes sense. I kind of didn't get the formula right in the video. I tried it twice. So yeah, I bleached the knots and I let them sit for about 50 minutes in total, doing 20-minute intervals, checking it every 20 minutes. And that's what they looked like the first time I bleached it, before shampooing it or anything like that. And then I realized they weren't bleached enough, so I decided to go in with the same formula, but instead added more of the liquid, and it still wasn't the right consistency. Maybe if I added like a little bit more liquid to make it a little bit more smoother but still thick, then it probably would have been right. And that's what the knots looked like after the second time that I bleached it. And I could still see the knots, but they were a little lighter than before, so I was just like, it's whatever at this point, and I just went with it. In the video, I used purple shampoo to clean the lace because usually you use that on blonde hair, but the purple shampoo doesn't get rid of the brassiness on the lace. So I've heard that using blue shampoo instead of the purple shampoo is probably a lot better. And that's what they looked like after I went in with the purple shampoo. But then I just let the hair dry overnight on my wig stand in my shower. That way when it drips, the water could just get in my bathtub and the cleanup is perfect. Plucking is honestly my least favorite step of doing wigs. However, I kind of have to do it because who else is gonna do it, you know what I mean? But usually I just take my spray bottle and spray it on the hair first so that the hair is wet while you pluck it, because I guess I've heard it's easier to pluck the hair once it's wet. And I'm just going through with my tweezers and just doing a little light plucking at first by section just to start. I then part a small piece of the hair by section again, and I just start plucking behind that part that I plucked, because I guess that creates the illusion that either when you do your baby hair, or even if you don't do baby hairs, it just makes the hair look a lot less thick at the edge or whatever. So yeah, that step is very vile. to prep my hair under my bald cap. These are some old 3-strand twists in my hair. I 3-strand twisted it because it's just easier to take out than the regular cornrows, but you could do whatever, honestly. And I put the Blue Magic on my roots to condition my hair so that it stays healthy underneath the braids. And I'm just going in with my olive oil gel and slicking my hair back. And then I take my bald cap and I slick it back over top of the gel that I just put on my hair, just so that it'll keep my edges intact. I then go in with a second bald cap, and this is gonna serve as the regular bald cap. I use 2 because the first one just protects my hair underneath from the combs and glue or whatever, and then the regular bald cap is just obviously for the wig. And basically what I'm doing is I'm taking my Got To Be spray and I'm spraying it over my hairline. I always have difficulty spraying the Got To Be on my sideburns near my ears, so usually I just cut a hole in the ear and pull my wig cap down, and while I'm holding it down, I use the Got To Be again. I use the bristle part of the edge brush and I pat that in just so that I know for sure that it is settling into my skin or whatever. And here I'm just cutting off the excess flaps on the bald cap just so that it's out of my way, so that when I go to define it, I won't have to worry about that. And to define it, I'm just pulling up the bald cap to where I sprayed the glue that doesn't need to be laid down. And then I just take my scissors and I try to cut it as precisely as possible to 2 centimeters around my hairline, like I said. Sometimes with this process, the bald cap isn't laid all the way, so then I go back in with that Got To Be and take either like the end of a rat tail comb, or as you can see, the back of my edge comb, and taking the Got To Be, using it to melt it down again, blow drying it, and then melting it down again with the comb and blow drying it to secure it. I then go in with a Q-tip and some alcohol or witch hazel. I used witch hazel in the video because that's all I had. And I just cleaned up around my edges just so that it's a lot preciser than a cotton pad. I then go in with a powder foundation. I just blend that in onto my bald cap, and then I used my wig tint for the back. And here I'm just trying on the wig. This is an important step because you really want to make sure that the wig fits your head perfectly before you decide to just go and glue it on, because once you go to that step, it's no going back. I then spray some lace tint on the lace. And here I'm just showing you guys how I lay my wigs with my low hairline. I have a low hairline on the sides of my head. So usually I take the wig and I cut it to where my low hairline starts. And then I go in with my Ghost Bond and I'm just taking that section by section. And I did 2 layers. I usually do 3. I did like 1.5 really. But I usually do 3. But I didn't want to do too many for this because I didn't keep it on that long. And basically, I'm using a fork to do this. Please don't judge me. I didn't have a popsicle stick and the fork was doing what it needed to do. So yeah. And I just go in with the fork and I'm just taking my glue and just spreading it out evenly. You want the glue to be spread out evenly. That way it'll be able to dry clear with no problems. Because sometimes when the glue is too thick, it takes a little longer to dry, or sometimes it doesn't dry at all. And then I just blow dry that, add another layer, and then repeat the process. And then I just take the wig, and before I put it on, I make sure to hover over the glue just so that I can measure exactly where I want to lay it, because like I said, once you put it down, ain't no going back. and then I just set it down, and I take my fingers to press against the lace where I put the glue, and then I go in with a rat tail comb and I just press that in while brushing back. That really helps melt the lace. And yeah, I just repeat that process for all sections of my hairline. And here I'm just sectioning off my edges and twisting them together so that they're out the way. And then I take my got-to-be and spray it over the lace, and take my wig band and put that over top of it just so that I can start melting the lace. And I blow dry that as well. So usually you would cut off the lace first before you pull out all the edges, but I was literally so tired filming this that I was literally doing stuff the wrong way, but I easily fixed it, so it's not that bad. But I will say definitely cut your lace off altogether before you start to pull out your edges and then spray the got-to-be and the wig band to melt it, because that will honestly make the process a lot easier. Once the lace is melted, I kind of go in to do a little bit more plucking to my hairline just so that I can see what they look like. I like my hairline to look as natural as possible, and sometimes I like it to mimic my own hairline. When I pluck my wigs, I like there to be space between the edges and the wig because I don't want it to look as harsh. So as you can see, I'm just plucking the wig some more while I'm pulling out the baby hairs that I want to lay, because I feel like it will just look too thick and bulky if I left it that way. Like, you want the wig to look as natural as possible, so this stuff is definitely necessary. I cut the edges as short as I want them to be, and I go in with my little 1/2 inch hair straightener. I think I got this from the beauty supply store for like $10. It's very cheap. And I'm just curling my edges because this helps for the edges to flow a lot better. And then I'm using this olive oil fix-it gel, and I'm using that to slick the hair down. And I kind of alternated between that and the mousse, because the mousse, like I said, it'll slick your hair down, but at the same time it helps the hair flow easy enough to where you can mold it or tame it however you want to. And I was just alternating back and forth between the two just so that I can have the extra hold. And yeah, that's pretty much all I do for the wigs to lay that lace. So to style the wig, I kind of wanted layers in the hair, because in order for your curls to really pop, the layers are really the most important part. So I kind of sectioned my hair off in 4 sections. The very first section is gonna be like the actual length of the hair, so I just left it as is. And then the second section I did from the bottom to the top, the second section, I kind of cut it maybe like a few inches, and I kind of just repeated that, making it shorter than the previous layer that I cut it. And I used my shearing comb for this. I didn't want to use the scissors because I didn't want the cut to be too blunt, and the shear scissors kind of helped me keep that natural layer look. And then once I finally did all that, I went back and took the comb and added a little more layers here and there just so that I could perfect it the way I wanted it to. So I'm just showing y'all how I lay my lace with my hot comb, because usually just taking the hot comb and putting it in your hair doesn't make your hair as flat as possible. In the video, you can see that I'm taking it by section, applying the wax stick, and using my hot comb, and that really helped lay the wig completely. Like, it will make your wig super duper flat. I definitely recommend using this process. I take my straightener, and this is the Remington one. I got this from Walmart. It was very cheap, and I honestly love it. Like, if y'all want the link to it, I will definitely link it down below. I'm just taking that, and I'm doing some flat iron curls. Mind y'all, I have absolutely no product on this hair, so for the hair to not have product on it, and for it to hold the curl that it was, I was like, that's amazing. The curls didn't last all day though, but that's on me because I didn't pin curl them because I had something to do, so I was kind of rushing in this video, not even gonna lie. But yeah, so I just took it section by section. So as you can see, once I finally curled all of the hair, I kind of realized that I wanted the layers to frame my face more, so I went back in with my shearing comb and I cut some more layers on the other side, not the side with the bang, and I curled that again, and like that really did make my hair look so good. Like I honestly loved it. So yeah, that's pretty much how I lay my wig. I really hope that y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope it was as helpful as possible. If y'all want another video like this with another wig, definitely let me know, because sometimes I kind of do something different with all of my wigs. It kind of depends. I didn't really have time to film an outro because like I said, I had something to do. But please make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video. Do whatever y'all need to do. Definitely some feedback or whatever y'all need in the comments, because I love responding to comments and all of that. And yeah, I really hope that y'all enjoyed it. Bye, friends.
Your mom on the beat.
These rappers ain't making no noise. I play to these niggas cause I got them toys. Fuck them all, that's some motto, you know it. Bitch, we ball, say you riding, come show it.